helpless is not much fun. It really isn't. You have no independence. You're reliant on others for almost everything. But there's some surprising lessons that you can learn from being rendered helpless, at least for a short period of time. I realize that there are some people who are dependent on others for long stretches of their life, or long stretches of time. Usually that's due to some kind of physical ailment or condition. And I want to just upfront acknowledge that a long-term state of helplessness is not fun and definitely not wanted. But in short bouts, helplessness can be an experience that helps you grow and learn in a variety of ways. So I've had a couple bouts of helplessness. I have to say that I don't particularly like being helpless. It means I can't do what I want when I want using my own abilities. I'm dependent on others, and that means I'm not free, and I value freedom. Plus, I don't really like asking for help, which we're going to talk more about. I sort of assume that others don't want to help or that doing so is going to inconvenience them, and I figure they've got better things to do than to help me. So maybe you could relate to some of that. But like I said, I've had some bouts of helplessness. I have found myself somewhat, if not totally helpless, a few times in my life. The first was when I tore my ACL in my left knee, and I had to have surgery to repair it. I was reliant on my husband to do all kinds of things for me. The second was when I did the exact same thing and had to have surgery again. And the third was when I dislocated my shoulder and then sprained my back. And I had a hard time getting out of a chair or showering or anything like that. And the fourth was recent. I broke my ankle, which is why my leg is up like this. And that has, again, not rendered me 100% helpless, but, enough so that I do need help doing a lot of things. But granted, I had in all these cases, I had the ability to do some things for myself, but not all. And I was dependent on help. I needed help preparing food and getting to and from the bathroom, or on a chair or the bed, picking things up off the floor. I required assistance getting dressed and showering, all of those kinds of things. Now, each time the experience of being helpless was humbling for me and uncomfortable. But the most difficult part was asking for help and feeling okay about receiving help, no matter no matter how the helper responded to my requests or needs. So that brings me to the lessons learned from helplessness. And if you've ever experienced helplessness, maybe you can relate to them. If you haven't experienced helplessness, like if you were never rendered helpless in your life, you can still learn these lessons. And I'm not recommending that you find a way to, make yourself helpless, like getting injured, like don't go out and break your ankle. I am suggesting that you make using helplessness a personal growth exercise. And when I participated long ago in Sandra Ray's Loving Relationships training, she would always suggest taking a helpless day. And that involved enlisting a friend or friends and family to take care of you for 24 hours. So it was as if you were like a baby, totally helpless, and others had to come to your house, and they had to feed you and dress you and bathe you and handle, if you wanted, also your bathroom needs, all that stuff. So you weren't allowed to do anything at all. And the point of that was to learn these lessons that I'm going to talk about. So if, like me, you're someone who never asks for help and feels as if you have to do everything yourself or for yourself, this is a great exercise, this helpless day. Just be helpless for a whole day and reliant on others, and learn to ask for what you want and need and allow yourself to be taken care of by others. A little scary, but it's a really important lesson. I promise you'll learn something from the exercise. So I'm going to go through 6 lessons that I've learned and others I know have learned from helplessness, whether it's self-imposed or imposed on you in other ways. So the first lesson is to learn to ask for help. And that seems simple, but it's much more complex than meets the eye, because if you don't like asking for help, learning to do so is a huge accomplishment. And it's also going to bring up all kinds of shit for you. It requires being courageous enough to ask for anything, and then to practice asking until it becomes easier. You could ask for $1 from a stranger, or a ride from a friend, or you could ask for someone to clean out your closet, or famous author to give you a testimonial for a book project. Doesn't matter what you ask for. It matters that you ask, and that you keep asking until it gets easier. Lesson number 2 is to learn to allow yourself to be supported. Those of us who are used to doing it all ourselves typically don't allow others to help us. We don't want to be supported because we see it as a weakness. And here's this thing: when you stand in your power and you ask for what you want or need, you're actually coming from a place of strength. And you aren't coming from a poor me, weak attitude, but from a mindset of simply having the ability to ask for support and to be supported. And if you think about it, the most successful people in the world ask for support. If they didn't, they wouldn't have employees and coaches and advisors and consultants and all those things. They know when they need help and support, and they ask for it. And knowing when you need support and asking for it makes you stronger. It allows you to lean on others when necessary to help you move forward. Okay, number 3 is to learn to let others love and care for you. Learning to let others love and care for you demonstrates that you feel worthy and deserving of support, care, and love. But the real lesson is usually in feeling worthy and deserving of that support, care, and love, because most people don't. I mean, not everyone, but a lot of people don't feel worthy of that or deserving. But think back, you were worthy and deserving of support, care, and love when you were born. And hopefully you had a mother and a father who took care of you. Some people don't, but you had caregivers before you could even ask for what you wanted with words, right? And you weren't afraid to ask. You cried until you got what you needed or wanted, and you received that care and support. So nothing has really changed. You're still a pure soul who deserves to be loved and cared for, and you're worthy of all the support that you need. All right, number 4 is learn that you don't have to do it all yourself. Some people, me included, don't like delegating anything, any type of tasks. They're convinced that only they can do it right or as well as they expect, right? But when you have to let others do things for you, you learn an important lesson, and that's that it's possible to let others do things that you normally do, that they get done, and that you don't have to do it all yourself. And sometimes you're even going to learn that it's nice to let other people do things, and they even do it better than you can. How about that? Number 5 is to learn how to receive. Super important. One of the largest lessons you can learn from helplessness is to receive. You may have asked for help, but actually allowing others to help is a different story. If you feel angry, ungracious, uncomfortable, or irritated by the love, care, and support that others give you when you ask, you need to learn to receive. Maybe you, again, don't feel worthy or deserving of the help, and you need to work through that. But it's a big lesson. And the last lesson is to learn to allow others to have their feelings about helping. So when you're helpless, it's important not to allow other people's feelings about helping you, like you ask for their help. It's important to not allow how they feel about that, about helping you, to actually influence you. Sometimes people help out of a sense of obligation, or they express anger or irritation while they're helping, or they may feel resentful or overwhelmed or put out by your requests, but they agreed anyway, or maybe they have no choice, right? Like, your partner or someone who's caregiving you because you have no one else and they're the ones who are there to do it. And all of that can make you feel pretty lousy and guilty about asking for help in the first place. But that gives you, that presents a huge opportunity to clear out your emotions and your beliefs about asking for help and receiving help. Also keep in mind that the other people's emotions, the helper's emotions, have nothing to do with you and everything to do with them. You're helpless. You asked for help. They agreed to help. Whatever they feel about actually helping is their internal issue to resolve, not yours. So let go of your reactiveness to their emotions. Their emotional state is theirs. So don't react to it. That's your lesson. Learn to not react to it. Respond, right? In a different way, in a more conscious way, and stop interpreting their attitude or behavior to mean something about you. Instead, explore why their behavior and attitudes influence you, influence how you feel about yourself or how you react to them, how you're triggered. And then offer them heaps of gratitude for helping. Okay? And here's the thing. When you learn these 6 lessons, you're going to find yourself feeling stronger. Even if you're still helpless, you're still going to feel stronger. You're going to feel more in control of yourself and your responses. And you're never again going to feel, and your choices, not just your responses, but your choices. And you're never again going to feel afraid to ask for what you need or to receive that love, care, and support. And that's huge. That's huge. So I'd love to know if you've ever experienced helplessness, and if so, what lessons you learned from that experience. And you can leave me a comment down below and let me know. It's not always a fun experience, but we really will come out of it stronger if you approach it from a growth perspective. How can I grow through this period of helplessness? Anyway, leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think. If you've never watched one of my videos, I am Nina Amir, the Inspiration to Creation Coach. I am a certified high performance coach and an intuitive transformational coach. I love to help people get from where they are to where they want to go by getting out of their own way. You're a human being having a spiritual experience. I'm sorry, I said that backwards. You're a spiritual being having a human experience, and the human part of yourself gets in the way of you being able to create what you want. I believe we're all creators, and that it's just inherent to who we are. The question is just, what are we creating? Are we creating what we want? And I do believe that when you come from a place of purpose and passion, that you get inspired. Being inspired, as Wayne Dyer used to say, is being in spirit. And so when you are getting these inspirations, the inspirational hits, you can then know what actions to take, and you take inspired actions and you get inspired results. And those inspired results are your creations. And this is what I talk about and teach in the Inspired Creator community. The link for that is up above. Click on it if you would like to become an inspired creator and learn to create. Really, the main thing is to create a life that really feeds your soul, to tap into that spiritual side and decide what it is that will make you feel fulfilled and happy and at peace and excited and passionate, and to act on those things, to create those things, to create that quality of life that is soul aligned. So again, if you're interested, click on the link above. And until I talk to you next time, go out there and achieve more inspired results.